Hey everyone, Adam here. Before we start the show, we just wanted to share a very cool announcement. We've started a Patreon. Patreon.com/FightingFavorites. You can go to patreon.com/FightingFavorites to join one of our 3 tiers. At the $1 tier is the Support Sluggers. This just allows you to support the show for $1 a month. Every little bit is appreciated. At the $3 tier, we have the Priority Pummelers. This is the tier that will allow you to jump the line of submissions to get your favorite things read on the podcast. In our next recording, as soon as we record next, your things will be included in our list. And finally, at the $5 tier, we have the Shoutout Smasher tier. At this tier, we give you a custom shoutout at the end of each show. And that's everything we have going for us over on the Patreon so far. But we've set ourselves a stretch goal that once we hit 50 paid patrons, we will start releasing exclusive extra episodes for all our paid members, which would be so fun. So go ahead and head over to patreon.com/fightingfavorites to learn more. And any and all donations will be extremely appreciated. And that's it. On with the show.
Welcome to Fighting Favorites, the podcast that feels like eating a delicious meal at a restaurant you haven't tried before.
Ooh, I love it.
I like that.
I like to laugh when I'm not supposed to. I think a sunset's best with the pink hue. I love to dance and I like fondue. But my favorite thing in the world is talking with you.
I'm a big novelty chaser. So like,
you are?
Yeah, if there's like a choice between like a place that I've been before that I like and a place that I haven't tried before, I actually really like trying the new place.
Yeah.
That's my, yeah. And
I think...
too, like even at a place I've been before, I like exploring the menu. I like taking a stroll along the menu. Yeah. I don't know.
An ideal version of myself, that is who I am. But I feel like too often it's just so easy to be like, oh, I know that this is good. And I'm just going to go with it.
I visited you and we went to a sushi restaurant.
Right.
And you pulled out your notes app. And you have been exploring that sushi. I have. Nate had a list of like every sushi roll he had tried there, and like,
and your rating for
and
it,
his ratings for them. Yeah,
that's smart.
And so I was like, wow, this is
extra for sure.
Cool. So
that sushi restaurant also. That's the thing is like they have like, I think over 30 specialty sushi rolls.
Yeah. Wow.
Like it was an insane.
That is a lot.
So it's like you have to, because you're just like, they don't have pictures for any of them because you're just like, so that one was definitely more intentional.
Yeah.
But that's why I love like going to a new restaurant. It's just like, ooh, everything is new.
Yeah.
That place is hard to. I think just sushi in general is hard because it's like
really hard for me to order sushi.
I feel like each roll they just swap out like a one ingredient or two ingredients.
Yeah, seriously.
So it's like, so this is the same thing, but it's spicy salmon instead of spicy tuna.
Yeah, literally.
And so it's just like I don't know how different this stuff is. I don't know.
Right. And that's what I've learned. Actually, for that sushi restaurant is so many. And I've started naming, I'm like, okay, this one's like this one, which is like this one and this one too. It's a little different from this one because that actually gives me a frame of reference. But it was fun. This last weekend, I went up to visit a friend in North Idaho, and we went to a whole new restaurant that I haven't been to. And we got it was so funny. I will say that's the fun thing about going to a restaurant you haven't been to is like, wow, the world's my oyster. But then the rough part is like, I can't make up my mind.
I know.
Especially when everything sounds so delicious.
Mm-hmm.
And we both finally just like picked something. And I got this curry chicken tortellini.
Yeah.
So good.
That sounds delicious.
It was amazing.
Sounds so good.
And she got this like honey garlic pork tenderloin. It was kind of a fancy restaurant. We kind of splurged a little bit, but it was so funny. I ordered mine first, And he's like, sure, okay. And then he looks at her and she's like, oh, I'm gonna get the honey garlic pork. And he's like, oh, great choice. And I was just like, what's wrong with mine?
Excellent choice.
Yeah.
Did I just get bottom of the barrel garbage
Do you guys
here?
ever ask the waiter? Do you ever ask for recommendations? I do that all the
I
time.
don't.
I
We
always
would
do
have,
it.
but they were taking their sweet time coming to us. Like, I don't think we saw them for like 15 minutes. It took forever for them to come back and take our order. So
Ugh.
we were
went
like
to
just ready to order at that point.
I went to a gourmet grilled cheese food truck, and they had so many things that looked so good that I was just like, do you have any of these that you would recommend, like that are just the best of the best? And she's like, do you like spice? And I was like, yeah, I like a little spice. And she told me to get the Korean barbecue grilled
Yum.
cheese. It was
Korean barbecue.
best thing in the world. It was so good. I was like,
Is that in Salem?
yeah, it's the thing right by my house. And
The
yard.
I ate it, and I was just like, every bite, I was just doing that
Yeah,
sound.
yeah.
Like I was like, yes, please.
That was
so
me with
good.
the tortellini. Like literally, he's like when he came around, my bowl, like
Was
I
licked?
couldn't pick it up to lick it
Yeah.
because
yeah.
I didn't want it. But he's just like, good to know that we don't need to clean this one. And I was like, yeah, you're welcome.
Did you feel like you were a bit performative to get him to say that you made an excellent choice?
Maybe a little,
Yeah.
but
so that he would
honestly, it
"That
was,
was a good
every
choice."
bite. It was this cheesy, fresh,
be like,
like.
why do I never eat before I come on this podcast?
I know.
Where
Now I'm like,
was
okay, we
this
should move
thing?
on. We should move
Yeah,
on.
we
it's
should
been
move
5
on.
minutes of food. Yeah.
Yes. Welcome to the podcast that makes you hungry.
Yeah.
My name is Nate Van Roosendaal. I'm joined by our two wonderful foodies, Stace
Uh-huh.
Grover. I just see
I'm not anymore.
your name on here is Stace Face, so I'm like
yeah.
Stacy Grover and Adam Christensen. It's good to see you guys. I feel like it's been ages. I know you guys saw each
It has
other.
been
Has it been
Yeah.
ages? Has it been a long time since we
Mhm.
last recorded?
It kind of feels like it.
3
It
weeks.
Yeah.
feels like a long
weeks.
time.
Yeah.
And I'm bummed.
Okay.
I did miss a trip
You
to
missed-
Eastern
I
Oregon
know.
there. I'm sorry.
I know.
I was in Atlanta.
We have to
so
do
I
a trip
couldn't-
together because it was really
Yes.
fun to get
You were in
together.
Atlanta. Wow.
Yes. So,
Very
yeah, bummed, but I'm glad we're back together.
Mhm.
And I'm glad for anybody who's listening to this podcast joining us here. If you have to pause, go eat a snack. I don't
Yeah.
blame you. Honestly, my
Hey,
stomach is like
I'd say
us with you.
don't even pause. You know,
Yeah,
you can
you
get a
know what?
snack and
That's
listen.
the best
Yeah.
part about podcast. Multitasking.
I'd say it doesn't require full attention. You can eat and podcast.
Exactly. Well, if you're new to this podcast and you're making a meal right now, this is a podcast where we pit normally 16 of our favorite things against each other in a tournament style bracket, but we're doing something a little different this time around. If you listened, it might have been in a recent episode that Adam did where
It's one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of them.
I don't know where any of these episodes are going.
Well, we've gotten a lot of requests from people. They're like, yeah, okay, your favorites are fun, but I want to hear what grinds your gears.
Yeah.
And so we're doing a couple of pet peeve episodes where we're pitting our pet peeves against each other to see which one grinds our gears the
peeviest.
most.
Yeah.
The
The
grindiest.
peeviest of the pet
Yeah.
peeves. And what's funny is
Stacy
like,
just got the shivers.
I did.
what's funny is like when Adam did his bracket, he was like, "Oh yeah, it took me no time at all." And part of me was like, "Man, it's gonna take me a while because I'm optimistic." And then I dropped 20 in like 5 minutes.
It was literally like I was like, oh, I wonder, and I started writing, and then the floodgates I was just like, and this makes me mad, and this makes me
Like
mad,
the Grinch on top of his.
Yes.
mountain.
Exactly.
Packages, boxes of bags. No, what was there were a few that were just like real easy, and then I thought of like, oh, what's the inverse of my favorite things? And although that didn't match up every time, it definitely spurred on some. So we're gonna dive into those.
Excited.
And we're gonna find out what's the worst of the worst.
Yeah. The worst of the worst.
All right. First matchup of our worst of the worst bracket here. When a tall person moves right into your field of view at a concert versus
so irritating.
When you work, speaking of food, when you work hard on a recipe only to ruin it in the final step.
Oh, man.
Usually it's like, I feel like when something goes into the oven, you've like done all this prep, you've done all this and everything.
Yeah.
And then you like, your timer doesn't go off or you forget to set one or you overcook it or whatever. And you're like, this is ruined.
Okay. Stacy, are you ready?
Food. Okay.
So tall person, being tall person. A person of very average height, this is not uncommon. But tall person at a concert or ruining a recipe in the final step.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Ruining a recipe.
Tall person.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Misaligned.
Well, I do hate ruining a recipe, but I feel like I always ruin it like in the seasoning stages because I'm very keen on setting timers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The tall person thing doesn't super bother me. It is like a bummer, but it's also like I don't feel like justified in being mad at that person because I'm like, what are they supposed to do? You know, like,
stand in the back, Adam.
Like,
that's what they're supposed to do.
They're never supposed to get good, like.
No, because they can always see.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
boy.
A common topic for concert goers. But is just like, should short people be in the front? It's just like, well, they should get there first. And it's just like, well, tall people can, like you said, Stace, they can always have a good view, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say, as someone who is frequently getting to concerts earlier than most normal people, you know, I'm usually because, you know, like I want a good view. It still sucks when it's just like the crowd shifts and you're just like, my window is gone.
I know.
Yeah.
I will say, I think I'm going to go with the recipe because a lot of times you'll be cooking something and you really won't know if it turns out until it's over. And you're like,
I know.
Well, yeah, and especially, did you say a new recipe? Was that part of it? Was that it was
not
a new
necessarily,
recipe?
but that often is what happens. Like you don't know.
It's the worst when it's like it's like you bought like all new ingredients because you're like, oh, I need this special sauce and this like I need full time leaves or whatever. Yeah, exactly. You know, where you're just like,
and you don't know exactly how long it's gonna take. Yeah,
and then it gets to the end and you're just like, I've botched everything.
Yeah.
And it took 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yes. And the shopping time that also took an hour because you had to find all the weird ingredients.
Oh yeah, Stacey, you were like just talking about this. What was it? Your chili that got ruined?
The chili that I ruined.
Yeah.
You get it.
I tried to make my own red curry and it was this happened. Yeah.
I'm not.
2 terrible things, but the recipe wins out on this one. Okay. This one's pretty funny, but sad. Realizing too late you've run out of toilet paper. Versus
I hate that.
Getting stalled or like stop and go traffic on the freeway only to realize there was not a problem.
That happened in Bend, Adam. Remember?
It did, yeah.
Like all of a sudden everybody just starts going normal speed and you're like, you look around and you're like, what was that?
Yes.
Did somebody just see a bird?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of the time it's like people slowing down. Like if it's like there was an accident or something or something happened.
That's
like,
fine.
A lot of
there is no accident.
But that's what I'm saying is like a lot of times, even after the accident is done, people still will slow down at that part to like see what's going on because they're just curious. And so it just like, it just
that wasn't the case in Bend though, because there was maps will say if there was an accident and there was no accident. There was just literally no reason for it.
I hate it.
Okay. Are you ready, Stacy?
Yeah. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Toilet
paper.
For sure. I was gonna say the traffic one doesn't super bother me, but
It
running out of
bothers me.
being on the can and like you are just like you have that moment of panic where you're just all of a sudden staring at the brown little roll.
The 5 sheets left,
then
and
you
you're
do
like,
the reach around to the under the sink cabinet, and you're like, no. And then you gotta send like the most awkward text ever, and you're just like, who do I send this to, and
Seriously.
how do I?
But for somebody who lives alone,
well, yeah. I mean,
I don't even want to get into it.
Yeah,
Shameful.
yeah. I would say worse than that is being at not your house and that happening.
Yes.
I don't know if that's ever happened to me.
I've never felt more like anxiety where I'm just like, what do I do? What do I do?
Horrified. Yeah.
It's bad. It is.
You just start screaming in the bathroom.
Yeah.
You're just.
Yeah, it's not good. All right, moving on. This one happened. This hit a little too hard recently. Okay. When your team loses to another team that they should have easily beaten.
Oh,
that hurts.
Gosh.
Versus constantly waking up during the night because you're afraid you'll miss your alarm.
Oh, jeez, I hate that.
These are number 1 seed right here. This is a first round matchup right here.
I love my gym shift. I love it. I love like opening at the gym. I never sleep the night before. I hate it.
No. Like especially if it's like if it's not your regular wake up time.
Exactly.
Yeah, or like for a flight or an appointment or something.
Yes.
I used to be in charge of opening the building for the plasma center, and that was like it was what I needed to be there at like 4:30 at the latest to open the plasma center, and I cannot tell you
why they open that early.
Because it opens at 5, so you need to be there at 4:30 to like run all the machines. People have like classes and stuff, and like you know they want to go before work, and it usually takes like an hour and a half or something. So you know. So. I had slept through my alarm like 2 or 3 times in the 6 years that I've and I was haunted by that ever since. Like
I know
where like just those 2 or 3 times where like people were like depending on me and I like and then from then on like every time I go to sleep I'm just like I'll wake up every half hour just like okay and then like even it's like after my shift and I take a nap afterwards and I like wake up from the nap and I'm like is it AM or PM? Is it AM or PM?
Jeez.
It's
too
terrifying.
much panic. It's too much.
I think it hasn't happened to me in a really long time, but what was the other one? The other one was a really bad one to me.
Another team that they should have easily beaten. Like that happened recently. Like it was like we were at home and it was just like, okay, like this is one we can get. And then they lose by like a substantial amount. I was just like, you blew it.
Yeah. It's okay.
Honestly, both of these are really tough.
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Team losing.
Nope, the other one I couldn't forget.
Oh gosh, come on, guys.
Oh, the sleeping. Oh,
I have to tell the story. I have to tell the story.
Okay, make it quick.
Yeah.
Look, I played lacrosse in high school. We had a very good team. We had like 12 seniors on our team. We were very good for a public school, right? We were going into the playoffs, and in the first round, we were playing a team called like High Mountain or something. They had a terrible record, and the next game was against Jesuit, and in Oregon, Jesuit's the private school, and they're really good at all the sports. We go into this Mountain team that we weren't even like thinking about winning.
Like, oh yeah, we'll get past the first round and then we'll move on.
In fact, they did not send their full team to come play us because they were so sure that they were going to lose. And then it goes into sudden death overtime and we lose the game. And that ends my high school career of lacrosse.
Was it single elimination?
Yeah, we were out of the playoffs because we lost to this team. They didn't even plan on playing us. They didn't send their full team. They had the school that they were playing next, the private school. They put them in in hotels because they hadn't planned on sticking around. They were planning on going back to Bend, and so they like paid to put them up. Isn't that the worst
Adam,
thing ever? You don't have to tell me. I'm still thinking about it. Like, what? 16 years later?
What happened? You had tried to bury.
Everyone got so overconfident. They are, I mean, like, Bend is like a high mountain area, so their conditioning is a lot better than ours too.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't have mattered because they had like one line to sub out people, you know, because they didn't bring their full team.
Right.
Man.
And they were just scoring on us, and I don't know. Oh, I replay that set because in lacrosse it's sudden death overtime, so it's like first person to score wins.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I replay that in my head all the time.
Man,
that's horrible.
All the time. It's awful.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well,
and that's not the only time that's ever happened either. But that's the worst. That's the worst one.
That's pretty bad. Oh yeah, Nate has to choose. Shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I was feeling really like, the constantly waking up during the night. But man, honestly, Adam, hearing your story. But that's the thing, is like I was thinking about it from like a spectator. Like I haven't played like a lot of competitive
as my team.
And even then I'm like I don't have like a harrowing experience that I can. I'm sure it did happen where I was like, oh yeah, we got this in the bag, and then we lose.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's the thing is, you know, we have nobody to blame but ourselves at that point. So I don't know. It's just like
I did great that game.
Did you?
Scored twice that game.
I
can't blame yourself for the loss.
I do not blame myself one bit. I never missed a slide. I scored twice. I was doing my job that game.
Yeah.
And I don't know who to blame. I can't remember who didn't who was slacking, but I know that it was not my fault.
Or just that's the other thing is the other team just like that's the thing. It's usually the mix of they just play well. So I don't know. I definitely, if I had that harrowing experience, I'd probably do that. But the constantly waking up during the night.
That's fair.
Because then it ruins you for whatever thing that you're gotta be for.
I know.
So I think I am going to go with that one.
Indigestion and weird sweating.
Like I said,
in the day.
this is two number one seeds for me, Nate.
That's
That's what I'm saying. Is these are two that I'm just like, these are both. This is right in my soul. But honestly, I think had I not had that lacrosse experience, I probably could have easily gone with the other one. But
both rough. Both, Yeah, these aren't just pet peeves. These are like a soul wrecking.
Are we only on the? Have we only?
We're not very far.
We need to speed it up.
We need to speed it up. We sure do.
Keep going.
We sure do.
When people flake last minute on commitments versus when somebody spoils a show, book, or movie before you've seen it.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, these are good.
These are good. These are good, Nate.
These are good.
I really hate these things. Okay.
I really hate them.
Yeah. Oh no. Gosh, dang it.
And I didn't write it in, but like definitely when somebody spoils it, it's something you're looking forward to, because it's like if somebody if something spoils that you're like, oh, I don't care, like who cares? But it's like if you're like trying to avoid.
Yeah. Okay. So spoilers versus
people
last minute flakes.
Last minute flakes. Okay, gosh. I'm getting so mad. So mad. Okay, let's go.
3, 2, 1.
Flaking.
Last minute flake.
Oh,
yeah.
Nothing. It's I
know. We've talked about
nothing
just
worse.
because it ruins everything.
It does.
Especially if it was only one other person you made plans with. And then they're like, can't last minute. You're like, I literally drove to town and got a babysitter for this.
Even if it's like not.
Oh, Stace, I hadn't even thought about that.
Even if it's not the one person that like you made plans with, but it's like the person you were depending on in order to do like, if it's like, oh, we were going to this party together, and then like the person like backs out, and it's like, well, I don't know anybody else at this party. I was planning on like piggybacking on to you to like get some more like, there's
like, so many ways it ruins.
I wanted to, but I can't just show up to this random person's house with a bowl of dip and be like, the person you knew isn't here anymore. But
so I am.
I am.
Yeah. Well, and we've talked about how much like. This was one that like I thought of like our favorite things. Yeah. And this is definitely an inverse of that big thing that we love.
We talked about people keeping their commitments, but what we really talked about that episode was people
that's true. When they don't.
That's really what we zeroed in on that
episode. No, that is rough. All right, moving on. Mm-hmm. And this is such a small one, but I hate it. When someone doesn't use a signal when changing lanes.
Oh, I hate that too. Like,
and I would say especially like on the freeway, like we're all going fast. Like the last thing I need to process is if somebody is like purposefully drifting or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then this one, getting sick right before or at the beginning of a vacation.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. So someone changing lanes without using a signal versus getting sick right before or beginning of vacation.
I don't know that that's ever happened to me.
Me either, but I know I would hate it if it did.
Yeah, I know. So I'm trying to find that.
Let me muster the
Mine
irritation.
is also kind of like getting sick during prep for a competition, like something where like you need to be healthy, and it's just like
Getting sick, I have gotten sick before like a big performance that I was about to do, and that is pretty rough. But
horrible.
That is not.
I almost just put getting sick just because getting sick always sucks. But like when it's before this, like something you're looking forward to,
event.
Maybe that's the thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think I'm ready.
I know we're talking to ourselves.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Lane
getting
changing.
Sick.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, I would say.
Oh man.
I would say
as the rule follower of the road.
I would say I would say that I am a big rule follower in general, and like I would say people not following the rules just in general really irks me. Where I'm like, we are all depending on each other to be following the rules right now, and I can't be worried about you not following the rules. I got to worry about my rules that I'm following.
Yeah.
So that that does irk me.
To track that person. Just follow him and be like, hey, we're a part of a community here.
I'm making a citizen's arrest.
What's funny is that both of these are things and I think maybe this is just a lot of things on this list, but these are two things that's like things you can't control. It's like when somebody doesn't do something or you get sick, it's like ain't nobody choosing that.
Right.
But I think I am going to go with the getting sick because that has happened to me on multiple occasions. Yeah. And when somebody doesn't use a signal, like I've become a much more cautious driver. Yeah. And so I'm just like always on the swivel. And if somebody is stupid, I'm like, I'm going to be defensive and I'm going to back up here, you know?
Yeah, I keep my spacing and, you know,
Me too.
I feel like I'm,
So, but getting sick. Because then it's like, literally, there have been multiple times when I just go on vacation and then you're just in bed the whole time. And people come back and they're like,
horrible.
Hey, how are you? I'm like, I'm still in bed. How was skiing? And they're like, it was fun.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. When software or an app crashes and you didn't save your work versus a disobedient dog and an uncaring owner.
Oh,
wow.
So like, when the dog is, and I'm thinking most commonly barking, but if they're barking or they're jumping on you, they're just
jumping up on you and like,
or they're excited or they're running around somewhere and the owners
jumping up on you and they're like, oh, they like you. And it's like, okay, but
Yeah.
We don't share the same feelings for each other. Okay?
I'd like them a lot more if they would just
Listen
stay
to
on the
you.
ground where I can
Yeah.
pet them. Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, what was the other one?
Yeah.
When
the worst
software
memories.
or an app crashes and you
Software
didn't
and
save your work.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Software
Crash.
Yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
Yes, because I
Whoa.
can never replicate what I did the first time, and I'm always so
I
mad
know.
having to redo it a
Yeah.
second time that I'm like, this is way worse than the first time.
I'm really bad about backing up my work. And so that is I think it's less of a problem nowadays. Like,
Right.
Yeah, because apps always save
Google Drives and stuff. It
Everything's on
has
the
a lot more.
cloud now.
But
Yeah.
I can remember a lot of times where I had
on Word and
I don't think I told you guys this, but I was making a video game for 3 months that I was planning on trying to package and sell to some creators because they.
I remember hearing about this. Yeah.
And I had worked like 3 months on it, and it was looking really. I thought it looked really cool, and then.
Oh no!
This was my fault.
We don't even want to hear it.
This was my fault. I did something on the computer because I thought it was some other file that I was supposed to be moving around, and I did it, and it like deleted it, and then all of a sudden my entire computer just like it wouldn't let me log in anymore, and I tried to get on the emergency like recovery mode, and even that was like not working, and I was on different forums, and I was like going to like the Mac store. I was just desperate to get this stuff back, and I got like such an early version of the thing that I had created back that it was like it took out 2.5 months of the work that I had done, and I was just like and
you watched your soul leave your body.
I literally, because they had like a submission deadline for it, and I took like 3 days off of work just to finish because
I remember this. I remember this. This is now unlocking. Adam.
I had so much faith that it was going to work out and that I was going to get it done, and it was brutal,
devastating.
So, yeah.
Wait, and it didn't work out?
No.
Nope.
Oh.
Adam, why do you have so many heartbreaking stories?
Welcome to my life.
Well, honestly,
Dashboard confessionals tonight. My goodness.
I almost didn't.
Teardrops on
Taylor Swift.
All the sad songs. No, I almost didn't include the software app crashing because I'm like, so much these days like has version control.
It's common. So we all have an experience.
It's less of a problem, but it used to be.
But the disobedient dog thing. Oh my.
Yeah.
There was.
I hate it.
I love dogs
other people's
too.
I
love dogs.
I like dogs, but I don't love other people's dogs like jumping. I don't like when they shed. I don't like when they sniff my butt. I don't like, like there's so much. I'm just like, I don't want to pet you.
Yeah. No, I think especially like when dogs are barking and the owner doesn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but okay, we'll leave that. We're gonna move on to other things that move us. We got
getting real worked up.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Now this one's speaking to my snacky media boy.
Okay.
My essence.
When the snacks are gone. Yeah.
Someone talking during a movie at the movie theater versus, and this one I just saw somebody do and I hate it so much. Seeing someone throw something into the trash can, miss, and then not pick it up.
Oh no!
I'm like,
these are both
you
pretty bad.
Can't bother?
Yeah. That's pretty insane.
I'm that person that will literally watch them walk away, make sure they're far enough, and then go put it in the trash can. Like, I hate littering so much, and I hate it when people are actively negligent.
Or one of my like along those same lines is like is driving behind someone and you just see them like throw something out the window like a bat, like, and I'm just like,
that deserves a citizen's arrest.
What are you doing? There are rules we need to follow.
Whenever I'm in my car and I'm like playing with my hair and like some pieces fall out and I like roll the window down, I'm like, it's just hair. It's you guys, hair out.
Yeah.
Biodegradable.
Yeah.
Biodegradable.
Okay. Someone talking during a movie at a movie theater, or seeing someone throw trash, miss, and not pick it up.
Okay, we got to vote. 3, 2, 1, trash.
Theater.
No. What's funny about this is like picking between two things I hate more. It's like I literally have to think, okay, which one do I hate?
Which one makes me more mad?
Greater passion.
Like I said, it really feels a lot easier for me to choose because the feelings are so like heightened, you know, where like favorite things, it's like, oh, that's calm and nice. And I like that. Or some things. So it's like the difference between something being calm and like, oh, something exciting or something relaxing or something that's pleasant. But then this is like, just like what, like which of these things am I just like more angry about? And that's like, that's all you got to do.
Wait, so which one chose which?
I chose
littering.
Movie theater. I watched not new, but the newest Batman in the movie theater.
The Robert Pattinson one?
Yes. The 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
In which there were 4 people, I think high school kids sitting behind us. And I could hear the jokes they were making the whole movie. Not funny jokes. That's maybe if they were funny,
line them up.
It would have been fine. But the entire movie, they were just giggling and like right behind me, and I kept doing like the side turn, where I'm like, I'm not aggressive enough of a person to go and like actually be like, hey, can you guys shut up? No, it was like maybe like during the first or second week of it, so it was like. And it was like the afternoon. So it was but there were enough people in the theater, but like they were just like, I think the fact that they were right behind us, but I kept on doing the side turn where I was just like, I just want them to notice that I'm annoyed, but I don't want to actually have a confrontation over something as stupid as Batman.
No, I feel like coming out of COVID, people forgot.
I think you've had this conversation.
Yeah, people forgot how to movie etiquette. And I remember multiple movies. I was just like, am I losing my mind?
Am I old now? Yeah.
Kids, you need to stop that blabbering, you know.
And this Frisbee's mine now.
Literally.
Okay,
you come back and get it when you've learned some discipline. No, I think I am gonna go with, because it's another thing that it's like I can't control. Because like if somebody does the trash thing, like I said, I literally will go and
you can amend the problem. And I think that's the thing that like calmed me about it. It's like I can always fix that. Like but that person still sucks, but that's like not like whatever, a big problem. But
I always wonder, like
something ruined for you just sucks.
Because when I'll walk our dirt road, there's always like beer cans, and I always wonder what kind of person would literally just chuck garbage out their window. Like I can't imagine you're just driving along. You're like, hey, don't want this in my car anymore, and you literally throw it out the window.
I have to stop talking about it because otherwise I'll lose it. All right,
last
one.
Blood is boiling.
Yeah.
Last one.
42 minutes in. We got this, guys.
When you pull your computer out of your bag only for it to be dead, versus when someone doesn't return their grocery cart to the cart return.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just out there in the parking lot.
Okay. I will say that Costco makes it very inconvenient.
Stacy is a perpetrator, it sounds like.
No.
Someone's getting defensive.
I am generally a good citizen, and I return 90% of my carts. But Costco is horrible for their cart racks because they don't have them in range. Here we go. What's the first one?
When you pull your computer out of your bag only for it to be dead.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Cart return.
Computer.
You've sentenced yourself, Stacy, to cart death.
Listen, I have a child and I have to leave her in the car to go return my card every time because I care
I'm
about
the person
returning my
who
card.
I will go find carts and put them back because like if somebody doesn't, if they like,
I am shook.
if the cart takes up a parking spot,
that's
I am like, who did this? And where can I throw them in jail? You know? And apparently somebody told me there's like an Instagram dedicated to this where people will confront people and be like they'll just leave it and they'll be like, excuse me, why did you do that? And they'll do similar to you, Stace, but I'm like, those are the heroes that we don't deserve. So I'm going with that one.
Oh man, this is making me think of so many things I hate, but like someone double parked in a when they're over the line and it's like,
oh, I'm adding that to my list right now. That one.
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
Double parking.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if your blood isn't boiling yet, stick around after this break where we'll fight these things that make our blood boil.
Quick cool down session.
And welcome back to Fighting Bloodbath.
Oh, gosh.
Sorry, that was a little much. Welcome back to Peeves for Your Pet.
Yes.
And we're going to be completely reasonable with how much these pet peeves peeve our pets.
Yeah. We're also going to go
starting off,
so fast. Yeah.
Starting off with when you work hard on a recipe only to ruin it in the final step versus realizing too late you've run out of toilet paper.
Oh, gosh. Okay,
here we go. These are both Adams. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Recipe.
No toilet paper.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
I knew you were going to go the other one.
Man, I'm gonna go
you
recipe.
literally have to decide if you're going to use cardboard to wipe your butt. Yeah. Okay.
I think that one eventually gets like solved though, right? And whereas like the recipe's just
That's
done
time
and it's
never getting back.
Yeah, it's time, money, and
yep.
Yeah.
That's
it just
what
sucks.
I'm going with. They both suck. Yeah. We're not gonna talk about how the toilet paper gets remedied because we've all been there, but it's not good. All right. Constantly waking up during the night because you're afraid you'll miss your alarm versus when people flake last minute on commitments.
Oh, Stacy, we have to be aligned on this one, right? Right?
I honestly don't know if you will be.
I don't know.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Flakes.
Waking up.
Yeah. Oh no!
Oh, again!
Is that out of spite, Stacy? Because I pretended like I knew you.
Yes. Well, and also because it happens every Saturday. I just opened on Sunday, so it's like it just I talk about how much I hate it every time because
that beginning like wake up like
yeah,
or when it's too light out, when you realize it's too light out, and you're like, no.
Or when you like wake up and you're like, I feel really well rested.
Yeah, that's when I know too. I'm like, no, something's wrong here.
Yeah. And what's interesting, and I think we've even talked about this when we were like saying about how much we care about when people do keep their commitments. Is I've just learned.
Stopped caring.
I've learned to expect it.
Yeah.
I really things happen, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, constantly waking up. It's crazy that I feel like, honestly, I did not think this one was going to even advance past the first round.
Waking up?
Yeah. But I'm moving it forward. It sucks.
It does suck.
Yeah.
Not as bad as the other one, but yeah.
As a committed friend, it's hard for me to.
I feel like
it's true.
I feel like I'm a pretty committed friend too.
No,
I think we all are.
As we all are.
And we talked about that.
That was
Look at us. We're almost a year into making a podcast, you guys.
I know.
Look at that.
Great.
Committed friends.
We're the best.
Yeah.
We are.
We are.
Love you. Getting
and you,
sick.
listener, who's stuck with us all this time.
Yes. Our devoted listener. One.
One.
Getting sick right before or the beginning of a
Mm.
vacation or an event.
Or event.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
because it seemed like that was the kind of the talk last time.
Yeah, that affects me more, I think.
Okay. When software or an app crashes and you didn't save your work.
Oh.
Okay.
Adam's demon almost
I can't. I'm
was
trying
exercised.
to. I'm trying to hide it as much as I can, but this is in the way that you could read me before, Stacy. I'm being so much more transparent now because it just like it causes a shockwave in my body when I relive those moments, and I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Okay. Getting
Okay.
sick or software crashing.
3, 2, 1.
Software
Getting
crashing.
sick.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Nate's just a big.
I don't
old
think we've
decider.
agreed on any.
Hey,
well,
you
2.
know-
We agreed on 2. I think.
You know what the thing is, though, is that when we disagree, I don't feel mad that we're not agreeing.
Yeah.
On the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's
You're
like,
still
yeah, these
peeved
both
by it.
suck. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's about get him out of here.
I
Who
hate
cares?
both of these, so
Yes.
it's like, you know. In
I
a
think
way,
I'm
you
gonna-
kind of want the thing that makes you less mad to
lose, yeah,
so
right?
that you don't have to keep reliving it, you know?
what was interesting is that in my last job, when we were developing on this software platform, it would just what we would call the blue screen of death.
Mhm.
And
Often?
frequently, yeah. And you learn to literally just save every 5 minutes. Like you just
I bet.
save.
I hate that.
And I'm not in that job anymore. And
Yeah.
so, but if I still was, I'd probably pick that one. But I think,
Yeah.
like you, Adam, I have too many experiences where I'm just like, ugh, vacation's ruined. So
Well, neat.
getting
I
sick.
bet.
That was
one.
Stacy, I think. That was
Yeah,
Stacy
yeah.
that chose that one.
For me, it's more like
Well,
competitions
similar reaction.
ruined.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or oh man, when you can feel yourself getting sick and you got something
Yeah.
coming up, you're like, no.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
I try and trick myself. I'm like, nah, I'm not really.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Nate,
Yeah.
do you remember our big Last Voice Standing performance where we had the finale? I was getting sick right before
Oh,
that.
yes.
And I was like, I
No.
was freaking out. I was so
Yeah.
upset because it's like
Ugh.
three performers for the night, 3 vocalists
Oh.
Yeah,
for the
and you've
whole
got
night, and I
multiple
was
songs
supposed to perform 3 songs each
Yeah.
of us, and then everybody votes at the end, or
Crazy.
final 4, I think maybe. Anyway,
Yeah.
I had to perform 3 songs, and like I was getting sick like a couple days before. I was just like, no, ugh.
Yeah, it's
Not good.
sad.
All right, last of the Elite 8 here.
Okay.
Someone talking during a movie at a movie theater versus when someone doesn't return their grocery cart to the cart return.
Okay, I'm ready.
Adam, you and Nate are equally peeved because these were also both yours.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Movie
Someone
theater.
talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Movie
sucks
theater
so
talking
much.
is the worst.
It sucks so much.
You know, it's a
Man.
similar vein, but it's not the same thing. Is when you're showing a friend a movie and they're talking through the whole thing, and you want them to be
Hey,
like, "This is
you
such a
watch
great
it?
movie," and you're just like watching them, and they're like trying to talk to you, and you're like,
But this part, you gotta watch this part.
But yeah, but
Yeah,
like,
wa-
you're
watch,
missing.
watch.
This
Yeah.
is important for later. This is
No.
something you need to know.
There have been multiple times, but Adam, similar to you, there's one
Mm.
also almost a 3-hour movie was the second Avatar, which had come out like it was like shortly after COVID, 2021,
Yeah.
something like that. And it was a kid talking to his dad right behind me. And a part of me is just like,
Kids.
Dad, you have a responsibility
Yeah.
to shut your kid up. He didn't. All right, final 4. When you work hard on a recipe only to ruin it in the final step versus constantly waking up during the night because you're afraid you'll miss the alarm.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Waking up.
Waking up.
Yeah.
Finally, Adam.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I know.
I can agree on that one for sure. That's That, like I said, that feeling of absolute sheer panic right after you wake up and you realize what time it is, and then you have to like calm
yourself. Person who's gonna be there to do the job.
Yeah. Well, your pulse is going like 1,000,000 miles an hour, and you're like looking at the clock, and you're like, "Oh, it's only like 3:30," and then you're like, "Okay, now I gotta go back to sleep." But I feel like I've just been in a night fight.
Yes.
As somebody who struggles already, like falling back asleep if I wake up, this is my worst nightmare.
You know what's also bad is
like 2 hours I'll be up before I can fall back asleep.
I hate waking up and being like super well rested and then being like, oh, I could wake up right now, but I've got 2 more hours of sleep. And then I go back to sleep and I wake up and I'm like, why do I feel like I got hit by a truck this time?
Yes.
Ugh.
All right.
Waking up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Getting sick right before the beginning of a vacation or an event versus someone talking during a movie at a movie theater.
Oh. Okay. Man.
3, 2, 1. Getting sick.
Oh.
I think because with an event or a vacation, so much preparation goes into it and money and
I think
so to have that like altered by a sickness is just so disappointing.
I think for me, event, if it's a vacation, I
get sick after vacation.
I think I sort of like I like to go easy on my vacations a little bit, so it's not as much. I think you guys are a lot more like activity based and like make sure I do this and that.
Yeah,
I think I can enjoy like a bit of a staycation where I'm just kind of lounging around. So it doesn't ruin it as much for me on a vacation, but I do understand like, you know, paying to go to a place and
So this didn't happen to me, but a friend of mine who was supposed to come to Hawaii with us, like 3 days before, got strep throat and a double ear infection.
Oh my God.
Ticket paid for. And
couldn't get a refund on it?
No. This was pre-COVID, before like airlines became like a lot more like understanding.
Yeah, if you didn't pay the extra $80.
Well, and I think even now, it's like you can't cancel like after 24 hours unless you buy the insurance. So that sucked. So she just didn't come. It was like, darn.
I mean, makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Final. Constantly waking up during the night because you're afraid you'll miss your alarm versus getting sick right before the beginning of a vacation or event.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Waking up. Yeah, Stacy, we did it. Yeah,
it's just too much panic. It's the panic.
Yeah, the panic. My least favorite things on this list did not make it to the final, but that is the one that I think we can agree on that one is terrible.
It just sucks.
Don't mess with my sleep. Yeah.
I don't know. Like some of these, admitted, and any pet peeve, or not any, but a lot of pet peeves can feel like irrational, and some of these are like the throwing people trash and they miss it, or it's or the grocery cart. Like I understand, like this is something I care too much about, but man, waking up, like I genuinely feel like that is just
I hate it.
It's just and
there's nothing to like resolve it. Like there's no way to resolve it, especially because we all are kind of on our own.
Yeah.
So it's not like if you miss it, someone's there to be like, "Hey, you missed your alarm. Like get up." You know, it's just like, well.
Yep.
You're on your own, and nobody was there to help you, like, be a backup.
It sucks, too, when it happens, and then, like, it just is very quick, like, turnaround for it, where you're just, like, every 15 minutes, you're like, oh, no.
Yeah.
And then, like, you, like, let yourself just barely fall asleep, and then again, you're just like...
I know. Yeah.
Just, like, drowning in your sheets. You're just like, oh, man.
Goodness.
I hate that.
It's not fun.
Terrible.
And none are any of these things, but by golly, we found the worst of them.
We found the worst of them. I would disagree. There are some other ones on there that I want to punch right in the face. But, this one's really bad for me too.
I know. What's funny is like
your top two would have been losing your work and then your team losing.
Yeah, your team losing.
Those are two like traumatic things that I was reliving every time it happened. Where I was just like. Ooh no. Yeah, I literally have a sour taste in my mouth about lacrosse now because I'm just like it's ruined. It's forever tainted by the last game that I played.
Right.
Where like if we had lost to the private school that was like super super good, it would have been like of course, and we knew, and we knew, you know.
And
but
we
like
knew.
losing to people who were like, we didn't even know we were gonna win.
We didn't even try.
Yeah,
That's
it's like,
how I feel
we
about
didn't even-
losing to Jason in ping pong. I'm like, you don't even practice. Like,
you don't even practice.
and it's not even skill. All he's doing is just like continuously returning the ball to me. And I'm like, I'm
He's just
beating
playing the
myself.
game.
I'm beating myself.
I'm not on your team for this one. It just sounds like just better than you.
No, he's not.
Okay.
No, and that's the thing is like, it's sometimes it's easy to relate. I feel like what's interesting is I definitely am relating more to a lot of these pet peeve ones, but what's funny is like I went back through and I didn't want to duplicate, and with favorite things I will add some of those things, even if it is duplicates to mine, because I'm like, that is something that brings me joy. But I thought to myself, I almost added, Adam, some of your things like and I'm like, what am I I'm creating a hate list? Why?
That does sound like a very old curmudgeon. Like you find like a list in their pocket of all the things that like make them mad.
This drives me crazy, and I'm like, no, don't do that, Nate.
I don't know. Is this a healthy thing to vent like this, or is this like a
no?
We're just getting worked up?
Say,
because I feel like this isn't maybe something we can encourage people to do.
No. Research has shown. As a psychology major, I know this is just a little random factoid, but this was something that stuck out to me, that venting, like vocalizing anger, only produces more anger. Like people think that it's like a release valve, but all it does is produce, surprise, more anger. If we had just found ways to, like either through meditation or, thinking about pleasant things,
right,
or these other things, like we want to feel justified in feeling angry, but the reality is that feeling more angry about those things only compounds it.
I think to a certain degree it is nice to feel validated by other people.
Sure.
Though. Like when people when you can be like, am I being crazy right now, or is this insane? And then people can be like, no, I would be
other
so mad
people
about this.
feel like you. I will say that.
Okay,
that feels good. That feels
but
good.
I was thinking about this and I was like, I know for a fact that psychologically speaking, writing down things you're grateful for and things that you like is a good thing. So I would just imagine that writing down your pet peeves is maybe not the best thing in the world. It is very fun though.
So evil in my life.
It is very fun, but it is also like, whoa, I'm getting worked up. Okay.
Well,
cool.
If you want to see us get a little more angry, you can follow us at the Nate Van for me on my Instagram. You can watch Stace face get worked up, hopefully in just crushing her next fitness goal at Stace Face 886 or health coach Stacy G. And Adam at CAdamR, or you can just follow us at Fighting Favorites at all the places, and you can see us get worked up in video formats.
we're starting to make it big, guys. We're getting all the spam OnlyFans accounts following.
Oh golly.
Yeah,
that's when you know you've made it.
We've really hit it. We've hit the big time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
because I start clicking on people who follow us, and I'm like, oh, we got a new follower, and then I see it's like 0 followers. Follow my OnlyFans. I'm like, oh, man,
yikes.
So maybe I should stop clicking on those people that follow us, because I'm just clicking on them because I'm like, oh, this is like, I wonder who they follow, like which of this they know, or if they don't know any of us, and just spam.
Well, we've talked about a lot of my least favorite things. You know what my least favorite is?
Oh, what
getting
is it?
Followed by bots and fake accounts and OnlyFans people.
Freaking bots!
Get out of there!
Get out of here!
I want real people. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Yeah, we will.
Tell your friends about our show. Whew. Just wanted to get that in before you turned off the episode. Just turn to someone nearby and play a little game called Have You Ever Listened to Fighting Favorites? Then a couple weeks pass, and before you know it, you're both just laughing and gabbing away about the latest episode. What I'm really offering is a chance to emotionally connect with that person. You're welcome. Also, please submit your favorite things to fightingfavorites@gmail.com. You could give us one thing, a whole list, and we'll put it on our show. Also, go ahead and follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, pretty much anywhere you are doing social media these days. And you can follow us on Reddit too, at r/fightingfavorites, and have discussions with other people about the podcast or just about some of your favorite things. And while you've got your phone out, go ahead and follow us on your podcast app, and you can get the episode directly downloaded into your feed. Leave us a review on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, and if you write a review on Apple Podcasts, be sure to include your favorite thing in the review, and we'll see if it has what it takes to battle it out against other people's favorite things on our Fighting Fridays poll. That's it. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.